Because and this is specifically directed to Jimani. Jay-Z makes grind set music.
I saw you describe that actually.
So you know
On Twitter.
how grind set music is.
Yeah.
Basically, what Jay-Z does, he makes music for tech bros. He makes music for guys who do crypto. That's the type of people who listen to Jay-Z. Guys who are like, have you ever seen the question yet? Would you take $500,000 for dinner with Jay-Z? He makes music for people who would actually take dinner with Jay-Z. And then you know what he'll tell you at that dinner?
That capitalism was invented last week.
No,
to hate on black people.
He'd even tell you something worse. Believe in yourself. This is episode 1 of Breaking Hearts, a show about music, culture, and everything else. I'm your host, Hafare, and with me,
I'm Sookie.
And thank you for being with us. This is the first episode. I hope you'll be with us for the entire ride, for as long as we'll go. We'll ride until the wheels fall off.
We're going to have a lot of fun. We talk a lot of shit.
No. We don't talk shit.
Okay.
We just educate people.
Fair.
This is an educational show, by the way. It should count towards your grades. Now, you sent me a link the other day.
Yes.
Forbes top 20... What was it?
Forbes top 20 African musicians, or Africa's top 20 musicians, according to Forbes. They had assessed an entertainment report released by PricewaterhouseCoopers, and also decided that they wanted to talk about... they interviewed about 20 artists from across the continent that have the highest number of plays on Spotify, for instance, and highest earnings. So essentially that.
So basically, from what I could take from it is like basically if you're rich and you have clout, you're making the list, yes?
Yeah, for sure.
Because that list had some like weird names. What was the money? It had even Chaka Chaka. Who else was on there? There were some old people.
She's one of the greats though, when you consider it.
No, but this is 1980. Let's think about it like that. It's not 1980. Like for real, if it was our parents' time, okay, sawa. Because didn't Yvonne Chaka Chaka do the thank you, Mr. DJ? Ama nani alimba ngoma?
But like let's
Ama umkomboti.
But you know, when you put her, and let's say Angelique Kidjo is the one that leads the list. And I feel like Angelique has stayed relevant like throughout the ages, like regardless of whether she was like popping during her parents' time.
No. When's the last time you had? No. When's the last time you had an Angelique Kidjo song and were actually interested in it?
Literally last year.
You are in the minority.
Last year, I'm not in the minority.
You are in the minority. We can ask anyone in here. When's the last time they listened to an Angelique Kidjo song?
Everyone who's watched Da Capo's Kunye has listened to an Angelique Kidjo song.
Did they listen
the past year.
to it because of Angelique Kidjo?
Okay.
You see?
No, it's a classic. It's just been flipped by somebody from our time.
No. Honestly, labda umse alikuwa anaandika hiyo article, alikuwa anataka tu kuwa inclusive and not, offend anyone.
Because if they wanted to be inclusive and not offend anyone, they failed because they didn't mention a single Kenyan, a single one. They didn't even try.
But I understand.
Why?
No, Kenyan music in itself, Kenyan music exists in such an amorphous state. It has no structure at all. To the point where our biggest artists, it's so cleaved to the point where if I was to ask you who's the biggest Kenyan artist, ungeniambia ni nani?
I feel like it's a different answer depending on who you ask and where you go to find that answer. Yeah.
If I was to go to TZ and ask for the biggest Tanzanian artist, everybody would tell me Diamond. You go to Nigeria and ask for the biggest Nigerian artist, you will get 3 answers straightforward. Either Burna Boy, Davido, or Wizkid. That's it. In Kenya, the people will tell you Sauti Sol are the biggest.
Someone will say Otile Brown. Actually,
Brown.
Otile would make this list.
Otile Brown, in my eyes, is the biggest. Just by measuring metrics, is the biggest. And then somebody else will tell you, Willie Paul. You see, because Willie Paul akona numbers kwa ground. Willie Paul, what one do the mambo, that's his target market. Now, akona watu... Nothing against it. Like, kama unanuanga, if kama msana baingi omo ya 5 bob, they probably like Willie Paul. So... The biggest problem with Kenyan music, and that's why I think we don't have an artist of that stature, even Sauti Sol bado hajafika hapo, is because everything is so... There's no
structure to how we listen to, or how the music is marketed also.
Yeah, Sauti Sol exists for Sauti Sol fans only. Willy Paul exists for Willy Paul fans. The overlap between fan bases is so small that unaweza kuta mtu anaenda show ya Sauti Sol peke yake or show ya Otile Brown, whoever they like, or Blinky Bill or whoever, because that's part of the conversation, sindio?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, all these other nations, all these other countries, they're gonna so many different artists, but the pyramid in a lead to one point at the very top, if you can see me drawing it. At the very top, there's somebody who's always at the top.
Yeah.
There is a king. Kenya will just have a bunch of feuding warlords.
Feuding warlords.
Yes.
That's a bit mad. That's a
No,
bit
like,
mad.
that's what I actually think. I'm on Aje.
Okay, like I've always just been of the opinion that once you acknowledge that we are a diverse country, like as a listener, you should also try to, I guess, seek out something different. Support artists that are like not in your general vicinity. But then I also get that like some of the language that they use might also like make the fan base a bit limited. Like no one's going to listen to something that they don't really understand, right?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Oh wait, actually, good music transcends. I feel like me and you know that.
Yeah, like because me I listen to a lot of Japanese music.
Yeah.
A lot of samba, bossa nova, and I fucks with it. Even though I don't understand, one of my favorite songs ni Mayona Kanodoa by Miki Mitsubara. I'm sorry if I butchered that name. I don't understand what she says, but I love it. It speaks to my soul. So yeah, and then also I feel like there's an aspect of music consumption in Africa that a lot of people do not factor in,
So
and
it's
that
not
is
dialectical.
that is the African diaspora. Nigerian music is big, not because of Nigerians in Nigeria. Nigerian music is big and successful, and Afrobeat is big and successful because of the Nigerian diaspora more than anything else. Because there are like 600 million Nigerians, like wako wengi sana, sindio?
Yeah, in different places.
Okay, that might be a bit hyperbole, but there are so many Nigerians. I'm not
In
really
the
sure
world,
in the world.
like in the States plus the UK plus, whoa, it must be more. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not really sure, but najua Nigerians ni wengi. But when you look at it this way, there are so many Nigerians in London, so many Nigerians in, I don't know, in the US, in Dallas, and whatever.
Yeah.
To the point where second generation Nigerians are being exposed to music back from their homeland. They still have that connection, but they're also able to influence the culture and the habits of the places they're from. So, not they're from, they are. So if you're a second generation Nigerian in London,
Yeah.
you can listen to Wizkid, and then you'll go show your friends in school Wizkid. And then it'll go back all the way to the DJs, to the radio presenters. And you can see now we're not even looking at second generation Nigerians. We're looking at third generation, fourth generation Nigerians who've been there for so long, to the point where they've already, like the guy who's making the decision at the radio station is from Nigeria, has Nigerian ancestry.
Actually,
The guy who's creating the playlist at Spotify has Nigerian ancestry. Those people can actually go home, take what's very popular there, bring it back to a whole new market, and then now disseminate it. That's why Burna Boy's song, Last, is big in the UK. It isn't that because waswa UK waliamka all of a sudden wakasema, wow, oh my God, kuna artist anaitwa Burna Boy, mazi yako na ngoma poa. This has been the culmination of years and years of effort to just normalize Nigerian music in the public consciousness in the UK. Because I feel after Nigeria, most Afrobeat is consumed in the after Africa, it's the UK. That's who is consuming the music. And it comes back down, actually, back to the money. 94% of YouTube royalties paid to Nigerian artists comes from outside Nigeria. And that's where the money is. The CPM outside Nigeria is much higher than the CPM in Africa. So you're doing a Rudy, you're getting more money, you're getting a bigger market. You are like, basically, you can produce music in Nigeria right now. You can go as far as you want compared to Kenya, where first you have to hit here and then hope that maybe you're going to hit song Tanzania and then maybe you end Uganda. That's not as sustainable as being a Nigerian artist, where, you know, if we do a hit song Saizi in Nigeria, it'll be in Africa within a week.
That's fair.
But I didn't fuck with that list. I found it very
I have a question though about like something that I also noticed about the list that I feel like is the first thing that popped into my mind. The fact that a lot of people say that like Nigeria and South Africa have a unifying sound, that Kenya has never really struck. And like I've talked about how like we have like various languages that they use for I guess to create their music, etc. But we also have
and everything,
that. Can we be expected to have a unifying Kenyan sound? Do you think that's possible?
It's possible, yes, but is it probable? No.
Why?
Again, Kenya is homogeneous. We exist in so many different ways, in so many different places, in so many different realities, that it would be insulting to even think that Kenyans can come together and just have one unifying sound. And I feel it speaks more to like how broad our tastes are compared to other places.
Yeah, they are.
Like unaweza kuwa rockstar Kenya by then not make it. Shout out to Irosh by the way. Number 1 Kikuyu rockstar Irosh. Shout out to him. Check out his music. Now, there's something I saw the other day on Twitter, and famous controversial rapper Dababy. He couldn't sell out his. Was it a show? It was a show, yeah. He had a show in New Orleans and he couldn't sell out. I think he only sold 43 tickets.
Yeah.
And I started to think, is that the biggest fall-off we've ever seen of anybody from like the public limelight? Because 2 years ago,
I mean,
Dababy had the biggest song in the world. Like number 1 on Billboard, being played everywhere. Everybody knows it. 2 years later, you can't sell out a show. 43 people. Like, you know, there's like the cutoff point where like we're going to make a profit only if we sell more than this number of tickets. You couldn't make that. Do you think anybody has ever had a fall-off?
I'm inclined, okay, like that they're not in the same industry, but I'd say Umsewa House of Cards and it
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey. Yeah, no, Kevin Spacey had that crazy follow.
I know, Kevin Spacey ni, how can I put it?
So the babies is like, if there's like a ranking of fall-offs, then the baby falls right under Kevin Spacey.
Like Kevin Spacey had the best defense to a fall-off ever. Before he got, like, all the allegations came out, he came out as a gay man. Like,
that's not a band-aid for being problematic.
Like, that is a chess move. You can't cancel me, I'm gay. You can't cancel a gay man. So like the entire thing like ilitulia kidogo too, because this man just came out as gay. And I'm going to live my life as a gay man from now on. So everything you had, like you could start canceling Kevin Spacey and then you have people saying that's homophobic.
Yeah.
Utaanza kuambia wewe mse wewe ni homophobic bana. So Kevin Spacey at least aliona ikikuja.
But abusers are abusers, so I don't know.
But Dababy ni so disappointing because
It's
this
self-made.
this man made himself. You know, he used to put He used to put, you know, the way when you have a viral tweet and then you see beneath it
like a couple of musicians.
Yeah, I'm post up check out my music, and you never check out that music. Very few people ever listen to what's being posted there. Dababy used to be one of those guys.
Lil Nas X as well.
Yeah.
But like Dababy really.
Dababy used to be one of those guys.
Yeah.
To go from that to becoming the biggest artist in the world and then falling off just because he decided to go on this unexplainable rant. I know you remember.
Yeah.
Kwanza venye alianza kusema stories za HIV. Mimi nilikuwa shangaa. What did people with AIDS ever do to you? As in, that is such a people who are living with HIV are so unproblematic. The only thing they want to do is take the ARVs and just move on with their day. And then he goes on this like homophobic rant about sucking dick in the parking lot. And then my favorite party DJ wake ako hapo. We're going to talk about it. His DJ was just there. DJ wake alikuwa was egging him on. And I'm sure his management was in the back. They were walikuwa wameshtuka like, what the fuck is going on here? Because that is how you throw away $1 million career, by the way. That is for real how you throw away $1 million career. Just go on stage and understand, I can do whatever, I can say whatever. But I feel bad for him, sort of. Because maybe he was put in a position where ama kuambiwa. But no, you can't say it.
No, I feel like as a rule of thumb, as a musician, as anyone, like the minute you offend even like a group of people that had like nothing to say to you, nothing to do with you, for no reason, just random shots from.
Ni kama mtu aingia kwa nyumba yako mkikula sapa anza tukuslap sahani zenyu. Bure. Mnakula ugali, fuck you niggas. Zi. Atukulangi matumbo kwa hii nyumba.
So he got his serve, I guess. Like I don't know, like I don't feel sorry for that man.
Another black man who ruins his own success. We've seen so many of them. As in, there are natural fall-offs, you know, like as a rapper, you have your like 3 years at the top and then you fall off and then you transition into being an elder statesman. But now you're just there. You know, had you kuna accounts about like, has Dababy been a good boy today? And me over there like, what? Like, how does your career go from you having like #1 hit songs with Dua Lipa to struggling to sell out shows? That guy wouldn't even sell out in Nairobi.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Wouldn't sell out in Nairobi. Kwanza venye watu wa Nairobi wapendi kwenda concert. Watu wa Nairobi wapendi kulipa ticket. Na wataki kwenda nini? Wataki kwenda, what's this place called? Where the Tems concert was supposed to be held? Jamhuri.
I don't know why people said it was like the showground. It's not the showground.
It's not the showground, it's the sports ground. It's the new one.
It looks completely new. It looks different.
They have changed it actually.
We've been asking for new venues, but when they're put in places that we know about.
But if we had gone for that, tungeendeo venue by the way.
I feel like it would have been sick.
No. That place. Tungeibiwa kila, hadi dignity. Tungeibiwa kila kitu. You would live there a shell of yourself. They would steal your soul. Have you seen that place?
I mean, it's open.
No, like, have you seen how the wall is? Like, the wall is very, very, very low. And then, at the very edge is a forest. Hapo mnaporwa tu na watu wanaingia kwa miti. Literally, like, mnaibiwa, guys go into the bush and you're not getting it back. Find my iPhone zingewaka hiyo siku. Hiyo siku find my iPhone ingelia. Everybody angekuwa tu hapo. Find my iPhone.
They moved it to Kani.
Not to Kani, to Waterfront.
To Waterfront. Yeah.
Which I don't really think it's a better venue. I don't really see it as much better. But I wasn't even gonna go anyway.
Okay, fair. No, I really wanna see Tems still. So like that's still a decision that I'm mooting. Okay. But
now, for me, Tems is
Waterfront is I don't know. I've only been for one gig there.
For me, Tems is still an idea.
And it's
like she's not
someone you want to see live.
No, not yet. She hasn't done those stripes.
No, by the time she earns those stripes, we won't be able to afford her.
And now sina pesa.
Oh my god.
Hey, maybe you are broke. I'm not. Maisha maskini hohehahe, not for me.
Shinda hapa kwa hii podcast peke yako baby. Jiongeleshe like.
Nah, but for real, my thinking is like I don't know. I still feel like Tems is an idea. Tems is like, we still haven't seen Tems evolve into who Tems should be. She's like Nini. She's like Wizkid in 2015. When like, you know who Wizkid is. And this is before he put out sounds from the other side.
Yeah.
Where you could still feel like, bado tujue who the real Wizkid is. And bado, I don't think we've seen who the real Tems is. And Tems has had a trajectory that is not really optimum. You know, the faster they rise, the faster they fall. Because for all other contemporary like African artists who make it big outside Africa, it takes like years. Burna Boy has taken like what, 11, 12 years for him to become that big star. Same thing with like Wizkid. Wizkid took him like 7, 8 years kufika that level. Tems imemchukua like 2 to immediately cross over. So I think there's still a lot more to Tems that we can wait to see. I'm okay on the other end.
I feel like I like seeing an artist, even from their budding stages, just to see what they're like on stage, their energy. So yeah, maybe I am a broadcast, but like I also just like I like the evolution of the person on stage. Sina do.
As in, eka namba kwa bio, watakutumia M-Pesa.
Saidia, nilipie rent tafadhali. Rent is due.
Eka picha ya thigh on Twitter.
Please.
Back Austin shake his head.
Anyway, on to other senior citizens. Jay-Z.
I wish G was here. And this is specifically directed to G-Money. Jay-Z makes grind set music.
I saw you describe that actually.
So you know
on Twitter
how grind set music is.
Yeah.
Basically, what Jay-Z does, he makes music for tech bros. He makes music for guys who do crypto. That's the type of people who listen to Jay-Z. Guys who are like, have you ever seen the question yet? Would you take $500,000 for dinner with Jay-Z? He makes music for people who would actually take dinner with Jay-Z. And then you know what he'll tell you at that dinner?
That capitalism was invented last week.
No, he
to hate on black people.
He'd even tell you something worse. Believe in yourself. He would angekwambia kitu ya maana. You think this isn't telling you anything profound?
I mean, but if you're going for dinner with someone, at the barest minimum, you want them to motivate you. You want to feel better about yourself when you leave that dinner.
Motivate. What do you mean? Motivation, you can get motivation from anything.
Yeah, but it's not Jay-Z.
So what if it is?
Not Jay-Z.
If it's motivation plus $500,000, okay, so I'm signing up for that. But
you'd rather take motivation. The $500,000 will motivate you more than
there's an entire self-help industry just to make me feel better about myself. I don't need Jay-Z, by the way. There's an entire industry of books. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Who cares? Anyway.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like there's still, I don't know. Hearing it from a rapper just hits different.
And
okay,
I feel there's a difference between how rappers motivate you. Because Rick Ross will motivate you by making you want to live his life.
Yeah.
Jay-Z will motivate you by making you regret your decisions.
I mean, regret your decisions, but he'll also give you tea. Like how you're supposed to.
What kind of tea? Like, I don't have $2.5 million. Jay-Z's always rapping about
tea
buildings.
You're gonna use someday.
What?
It's an immovable asset. It's an immovable asset.
No, I'll tell you, Jay-Z makes music for grind set people. While you were sleeping, I was at the early bird catches the worm. While you were sleeping, I was grinding. The hustle don't stop. I don't have time for a relationship. The only woman I care about is money. Those type of people. Jay-Z makes music for because he's been making that music for 20 years. Mm-hmm. Ever since he lost the beef with Nas. Mm-hmm. He changed his entire persona to this, like, I am a corporate gangster. And for years, he has always been saying, I used to sell drugs. Mm-hmm. Now I sell other things. I used to sell drugs. Now I sell other things.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Okay. I used to sell drugs. Now I sell other things. Corner boys in the corner office. That sounds dope. That, honestly, if you're going to talk about his verse, Kwanzaa on God Did, it's a good verse. It is not the best verse I've ever had. It's not the verse of the year. It's not even the verse of the month. I've had a better verse this month. Mm-hmm. It's just that a lot of people who are obsessed with the idea of success and capitalism and monetary whatever, are watu wanarudi too. Because it appeals to them, who they are. Them, they just want more. People, watu wanataka tu, kesho niamke ni make profit. Let me look at my trade account. You're in the club talking to women about cryptocurrency, how much Dogecoin you have. Those are the people this appeals to. He's had so many better verses this year himself. In fact, this year he's had better verses.
You have?
Yeah. Ask yourself, who really, Julize?
It's so rude.
No, I'm not rude, but for the people who like that verse, look at them, waangalie, and the things they believe in and what they profess. You know I'm right. It's not a bad verse, by the way.
No, I can't refute, but okay, it's not a bad verse.
It's not a bad verse, but does it deserve that much hyperbole?
It didn't appeal to you.
No.
Like you don't go by those values or money. What are you saying?
No, I wanna get paid, Pia.
Yeah.
But Pia, I'm also Team Eat the Rich.
So you're on the fence. You don't want to loudly claim it.
No, as in I'm on the fence in the sense that I want to get enough to be to not have to worry, but I don't want to have too much the point where it's obscene.
Yeah.
This man come on,
hoarding wealth unnecessarily.
Yeah, come at the story of OJ. Mm-hmm. There's a part where the story of OJ is a great song. Mm-hmm. It's actually deals a lot with race relations and identity of being black in America especially. But in the middle of that song, he stops and then starts saying, I could have bought a building in Dumbo for $2.5 million before it was... that had nothing to do with the song. Mm-hmm. But because it is a Jay-Z song, he has to remind us, I am smarter than you, I am richer than you, I make better investments than you.
But that particular bar is basically him saying that he's Dumbo for not having invested in that thing at the time that he was going to...
But how does it tie into the entire theme of the song? It doesn't.
Well, it's still a nigga. I don't think we're going
that
to
song would not have been any less without that entire segment. It would not have been any less. Honestly, if you want luxury rap and not capitalist rap, Jay-Z makes capitalist rap. Mm-hmm. Jay-Z makes JP Morgan rap. So he makes a rap that your CFO would love. At work, your CFO, he loves that shit. Rick Ross makes luxury rap. Rick Ross will not tell you about how he bought something. He'll tell you about how he enjoyed it. Atakwambia like he was in the Mediterranean getting massages from Greek women. I want that. I want that. I don't want to be told like, oh, you should buy a building. Okay, I should, but still, stai kuambiwa. Anyway, this is a message specifically for Jimani. That verse was not as good as you think it was, and if you disagree with me, you're wrong. Now, there's something I wanted to actually ask you about. I saw something recently that said playlists, especially computer-generated playlists, are bad for music taste. Because especially like on Spotify, sindio?
Yeah.
You get your daily mix. You listen to it, and then based on what you listen to on your daily mix, like what you skipped, what you listened to, it'll give you more of the same.
Yeah, in the coming days.
So it just keeps giving you the same thing
songs
over and over and over.
Yeah.
Not even just repeating songs, it repeats themes and vibes. Then you're not listening to anything new, you're just listening to what you like.
Exactly. I've always been against that. Like I'm still very analog in the way that I look for music. And I don't know, like one thing I noticed is like when I moved full time to Spotify, because at some point this year I just decided, let me stop listening to stuff on Apple Music.
Mbona?
No, I really like Apple Music.
I have an Android and I have Apple Music. Don't you know how much? I hate the Apple ecosystem, but I have Apple Music on my phone. Don't you know how much of a good product that is?
It's a good app. It's a really good app. But yeah, like sometime last year, because I wanted to start curating a lot more on Spotify. So I started listening on there and I thought, okay, so like I'll listen to this and this and this. The algo will read what I like and then start giving me stuff based on that. But I don't know, I've never stuck around for like all of my daily mixes because I noticed that as well. Like I prefer Apple because even the chill mixes and like other mixes that they create for you to listen to, like say on Sunday, because that was my day for listening to those curated playlists. There's still the element of you have to go out and look for what you like, and then we'll categorize like the music that we would want to introduce you to based on that, not a homogeneous sound. There's a sound that my Spotify side has that my Apple Music side doesn't. And I've spent a lot more time like building on my listening on Apple Music. So yeah, was it like that for you as well?
Yeah, I realized recently, because I've been using PS. I don't I didn't use Spotify a lot until recently, because I found out that Spotify PC, the free version is basically the same as the premium version except with ads.
Yeah.
Like there are unlimited skips. There's everything you would need.
Yeah.
Except for the except it has ads. So I decided let me just start using like when I'm working on my PC.
Wait, you don't pay for the nini for the
Spotify.
sub?
No, why would I do that?
Ni so tatu.
Si so tatu napatia Apple. Like I only have 300 to spend. I only have 300. Like
you're gonna spend it on Apple.
Yeah, I'm not right. Budget yangu haribiwa juu ya Spotify.
So you just it's just 3. Oh my god, it's just 3 sock, and like you don't have to listen.
This is how
to
you stay rich, sawa?
Telcom telling you that you can get. You don't even use Telcom, but here's an ad for Telcom. I didn't like that. I actually
use Telcom.
Immediate. Ooh.
You see,
stop
judging me. Anyway, I noticed that when you go to your like daily mix, you start to inaanza kufeel, especially once you go through it a few times and it lands like this is what you like to listen to. It starts feeding you that.
I feel like you should stick around though, like even if not for the daily mixes, because I know now like after listening to music on there for like a while, that you can also break into that, like you can find the sweet stuff, the sweet stuff at the bottom.
It has its pros. I wouldn't say like it has its nimbaya yote. Like I've like when I'm in the house, if I'm on the PC, I'm always going to use Spotify.
But the vibes on Apple Music are different.
But if I'm leaving the house or maybe I've just gone for a walk, just anything that is outside the house related, I always use Apple.
Yeah.
And in the house, I'll just use Spotify. Or if my PC is on, I'll always be on Spotify, because I feel like there are pros and cons.
Yeah.
Apple Music sounds way better, by the way, and
the quality is insanely.
And let's not argue about that. They're not even paying me for this, by the way. They're not even paying me.
Although you can fix the EQ and Nini on Spotify as well. Like that's something that Is
that a premium feature?
Lipa so tatu.
Silipi na silipi. Hata ukinilipia nitakataa. That is how much as in Saki.
Oh my god, just lunch ya siku moja for a month. Like it's not that deep.
Unakulanga lunches 3 so. Bako sina nashtuka. You eat lunch for 300 bob.
Yeah, see, like rice and beans.
Hey. Nakula kaseremala. Hey, mazee, unakula kamsa wa mjengo ati 3 so. Rice and beans ni 60 bob. Unakulanga wapi wewe mzee?
We naishi South Sea, so.
What do you mean? That's no excuse.
It's not an excuse. It's just the price of things where I live. It's not like.
Have you ever, if you ever needed a sign to move out of where you live, this is it. 300 on lunch a day.
I remember you told me how much githeri is in Rongai, and I looked at you like, is that like a real meal? Like, is that like a full meal?
Yes, ndio githeri.
How much is it, that bag?
Githeri unanunua ile bag ya ile kikombe 25. Like the actual wanakupimia. See, Austin, you know what I'm talking about? Austin doesn't eat githeri, but anyway, like wanakupimia
25 bob.
Yeah, 25
and then Nairobi.
And mimi naishi Kajiado.
Okay, fair.
Alafu like, you know, nyanya, kitunguu, mboga kiasi, and you're good to go. That's a full meal. But that's like 60 bob and umekula umeshiba. But
okay, fair. But I don't know. Yeah, 300. It's like 2 meals at once. Like it's a lot of food. It's a lot of food. You can spread
you see
it
why
out.
you see why I don't want to pay for Spotify. Hiyo ni chakula ya wiki mzima. You're telling me ati siku moja. 60 bob across 5 days.
And then they'll give you like an entire story about like your listening habits for the entire year at the end.
They're going to do that regardless.
Well,
it's not a premium feature. Wanipatia tu bado. Now let's move on to the last part of the episode according to our show notes. And this has to be one of the weirdest stories I think we'll ever, because this has to be the weirdest story to have in a very long time.
I think it's the best story.
No, it's a bit weird for me. Now, okay. For those who don't know, there's a Scottish producer called Hertz Mohawk. Mm-hmm. He's worked with a few artists over the years. He's been thriving in the underground, especially in the experimental scene, sana. And years ago, like 12 years ago, he put out a song called Seabat on a project called Certain Cassettes. Now, to say Seabat sounds interesting would be an understatement. Mm-hmm. It sounds weird. Now, that song would have been forgotten to history forever if not for some random guy on Reddit who decided to write a story of how him and his girlfriend have been having sex with that song for 2 years, and his girlfriend finally confessed that she fucking hates that song.
Because he plays it every time.
And please, if you're listening to this, just pause here, right here. Pause
and
right
here. Just listen to the
song. Yeah, go pause, listen to the song, come back, because my God, that is the least sexy song I could ever imagine.
You don't think it grows on you though? Like...
No.
Because okay, like
plants grow.
I think I gave it a shot after I saw.
What do you mean you gave it a?
Listen. Brandon Urie, Panic at the Disco. I loved Panic at the Disco. Have always loved Panic at the Disco. Brandon Urie says that's a song that he plays when he wants to get hype before a gig.
Fuck that nigga. Miss Jali Kuzumse.
Checky. I needed to understand, because if like people are using it to get hype for some reason. Would you get hype when you listen to that? I don't know.
People use meth. Would you use meth? Exactly. People use meth as in
my God.
Like as our mothers would say, oya kiruka kwa bridge, utaruka hata wewe. Exactly. Peer pressure, usingie box ya peer pressure. That song is fucking anyway. It's not even horrible.
Yeah,
it's
like
just
gets
weird.
Worse. But it gets worse. The story
and now
gets worse.
Imagine having sex with that song for 2 years, and you say nothing. How much did
that
she love this man?
Strong.
Yeah,
that baby's strong and loving and kind.
You know my favorite part of the story in Nini? Mm-hmm. That after Ambue, like she does not like the song, he stopped playing it, but he like when they're having sex, he would still play it in his head. And the girl noticed. Because he used to thrust on beat.
Oh my God.
And I swear, you might think like we're just making this. Please, just go listen to that song and understand how fucking insane you have to be to even think of that song. Mm-hmm. And because actually, And that song tricks you, by the way. It starts very seductive.
It sounds like sensual seduction.
When it starts, yes.
Snoop Dogg sensual seduction, which is what threw me off about like what happened next. But
Wow.
I won't spoil it.
It sounds so industrial. Like, it sounds like
Yeah.
our nini. In a sound ka site ya mjengo. That's how it sounds like. Imagine going on a date, vibing, and then going back to that guy's place.
Yeah.
And then you're setting the mood, candles, and
And
sitting
plays
your
that
Udi.
song.
Then he plays that song. Hi, but like, we should set up a GoFundMe for the babe.
You see, no, like she broke up with him, so that's like good for her.
Yeah, but then she did. I think I saw a follow-up.
Yeah, her sister saw the story on Reddit. The guy also used his exact name. And
For some
like,
reason, by the
their
way,
actual ages. So like
But imagine,
all around kujikinda, but I
imagine
don't-
being that guy, having to go to the office, and everybody knowing you get nasty to that song.
Oh my god.
Of all the songs in the world you could have picked, of all the beautiful love songs made throughout history, you picked that particular song. That guy.
But maybe it gave him his rhythm. Maybe it helped him find like his niche in the whole thing.
There was no niche. There was nothing to find, by the way. I hope that man finds Jesus. Juu lazima ni possession.
him and Brandon Urie.
Yes, au lazima wako possessed. But they also don't take artist recommendation seriously. Artists listen to whatever. Me, msanii atakwambia usikize the sound of meat grinding.
It's moving. It's moving.
No.
It's moving.
And you know this, artists listen to the weirdest shit. Artists do not know what the mass market wants. That's why they have label heads and curators and A&Rs and all those things. Artists have no idea what the market wants. They only know what they want to make.
As it should be.
As it should be.
As it should be.
Anyway, before we close the episode, any recommendations, any new releases you've been listening to? Wambia watu?
I thought you'd never ask.
You sound like Jessica Rabbit.
Okay, I'll take that as a compliment. This week I've been listening to Revamp from Espresso. He recently released Ego and Flora. I saw someone say that it's reminiscent of the rock genre, but I feel like it's a lot more Nairobi lo-fi. I don't know if that's like a subgenre yet, but it should be.
Nairobi Low?
Nairobi lo-fi.
Okay. I fuck with it.
Or Nairo bass. But Nairo bass is like also its own thing. I liked New Way from the project, so give Revamp's Ego and Flora a listen. This morning I listened to Identity Crisis by DVBLIEW. Yeah.
Ever sema tena?
DVBLIEW.
Why would you name yourself that as an artist?
It's an interesting name, and
It's a name no one will remember. Like, if I'm the label, I'm telling you, no, we're not doing that.
so I listened to it because I feel like this is an undermarketed group of like projects. We don't really talk much about beat tapes. I feel like that's something we should try and amplify more. You know, if you're a rapper, singer, if you are in the business of writing music, I feel like beat tapes really help you practice. And you know, you can also appreciate just the storytelling that comes from making beat tapes. It's not just lyrics aren't the only way to tell a story when you're making music. You can also make, you know,
There's a lot to do.
you can be emotive, you can create a theme that's what I got from Identity Crisis. Yeah. And I was also listening to Nocturnals by HR The Messenger and Suicida.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I haven't
Dani.
gotten a chance to actually get around to it. Probably Leo Siku, maybe. But yeah, soon I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Anything else?
What else? Yeah, in a playlist called, of course, Frank Has a Wurlitzer, which I enjoyed very much. It's about Frank Ocean having this instrument called a Wurlitzer, which a lot of artists from the 70s and 80s who created soul really manipulated used for their music. Yeah, so I got it from TikTok. This curator called Derek G had made it. I'll probably share it in the
Yeah, in the description,
in the
I guess.
description later on.
Byron,
What are you listening
remember
to?
kutuliza.
What are you listening to, Hafare?
This week, I didn't really get through much. Oasis Park 3 by Jinku. Really like that. Like, Jinku has always been a very interesting artist.
Yeah.
He's always pushing the boundaries. Jid, The Forever Story, finally.
Yeah.
It's quite good.
You enjoyed it?
Yes, I did. I can't knock it. Like, it's a good project. I feel like it tails off. Just because of the length. Could have, like, I feel like he could have done with more being left on the cutting room floor. Instead of, I
Yeah.
think it's 20 tracks, Amma?
Yeah,
It's-
20
yeah,
tracks.
20 tracks. I feel like 16 would have been better because it starts off really, really high energy, and then once you get to like track 14, it starts to lose steam. Hadi ukifika huko mwisho, at some point you feel like you're waiting for the album to end.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, can't knock the quality though. Like, really solid album. You should really listen to it. Yeah. Listen to the new Spice record. Me, by there, I'm a big fan of dancehall. Emancipated.
Oh, good. I haven't. Wait, did the video come out as well?
I haven't seen the X-rated video, the one that they put the snippet. But yeah, the video
Yeah.
came out for tape measure, and even by the Spotify numbers, I don't think the video made much of a difference on the actual like listenership because the numbers aren't as much as you would think. It's not the best Spice album, but it's not the worst Spice album. Like, Spice has worse projects, she has way better projects. It's there. I feel like it's just one of those, like, as an artist, you're going through the motions, and this is what we'll put out.
Yeah.
There's a song called, let me just check here. Just a minute. The song called Same Mouth on It. That's a banger though. That is like, if you're gonna listen to one song, that's gonna be it. And finally, I listened to Ruguru's self-titled EP.
Ooh, I love Ruguru.
Ruguru is gonna be in 2-3 years,
Yeah.
if handled correctly, like if the label does what they're supposed to do. Ruguru is gonna be the biggest female artist in Kenya in about 2-3 years. She has every, like, okay, fanya check mark. Like, ticking all the boxes. She ticks all the boxes of a pop star, all of them. And it's just about like increasing her profile and discoverability because the project was really good. It was short, and I think they highlighted the best parts of her as an artist. Very strong voice work. She doesn't, like, the writing doesn't go into very very high places, but it's still pop. It's still the stuff that people in Kenya want to listen to, and I recommend it too. Yeah, it's really good.
Okay.
And I think with that, we have come to the end of episode 1. Thank you all for
Yeah.
listening. Make sure to check out all the other shows on the Good Company channel. The Wildcard with Venant and Eric. The mics are open. Check out the minisode that comes out, I think, only on audio. Yeah. And thanks, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Peace.